I've been a sysadmin for a very, very long time. I grew up in the ISPs, so I was a network-oriented sysadmin. I started my first gigs running FreeBSD boxes and looking after networks, and then my following on gig from that was looking after a dial-up network for a very large number of people and just, shunting packets around the network. But being a small ISP, we had to both shunt packets and look after servers. So there was a lot of tuning machines to get them running really, really well because there was just never the budget to buy another one. So it taught me a lot of in-depth stuff about how operating systems respond and how network stacks respond, and set me up pretty much perfectly for doing what I'm doing now. So I typically spend, I'd say, 20% of my time devising new test cases and actually turning that into a performance test. I'll spend another maybe 10 to 15% of my time fixing existing tests. A lot of this performance work that I do is effectively screen scraping. You're hitting a web page and then maybe getting a few results out of that web page and using a regular expression to pull out some numbers and then feeding that back into the next step in the test case. So developers change the front end, they change the back end, and things don't match. So for instance, today, Jira had reworded some of the things which I used to check whether or not a particular step had passed, and they changed that. The step wasn't failing, but the expected expression wasn't there anymore, so it said it was failing. So it's just finding little things like that. So that'll be the administration stuff. There's a bit of investigation time where I'm working out what combinations of operating systems or Java versions or software versions or scheduler versions or memory or whatever is actually better for us. I spend a fair amount of time watching the tests, nagging developers. They're very good if you give them numbers, but often they don't check back regularly enough. So you've got to kind of hound people regularly. And then I spend a fair amount of time raising bugs, finding new issues which wouldn't have come up and saying, right, go look here, go look there. And then there's the really fun bit, which is just trying to make the applications break.